Hey guys, it's Channon Rose, and today I'm going to be doing a gross things I did in porn part 2 as requested by you guys. You guys really liked the original video that I did where I talk about all the gross things that I've done in porn, and so I decided to do another one for you. So here we go.
I don't give a damn about my reputation.
Okay, so there was one question on my last video. If you haven't seen that, I'll link it down below. But people asked, do you guys take Viagra to keep their dick hard during porn? And to be honest, I've never seen any guy take Viagra, so if they did, obviously they did it in like private. But one thing that was very popular was that guys would shoot their dicks up with like something that would keep them hard for a long time. Yeah, it was like way worse than Viagra. I don't know what it was or what it's called, but that was very common. Obviously they didn't do it like in plain sight for everybody to see. Like they would go to the bathroom and then shoot themselves up, come out, be good to go. That's pretty gross, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know about you, but it's pretty gross to me. That was just something that I thought I'd share because somebody had a question about it. Okay, so another thing is, in my last video I talked about how you can put a sea sponge up inside your cupcake to stop the bleeding temporarily so that you can have sex and there not be blood everywhere. And someone was like, how do you get the sponge out? In a video a long time ago I talked about this, but I'll just tell you guys again. Basically, you stick like 2 fingers up inside of you and then you kind of just like have to fish it out. The problem is that like girls' fingers are not as long as guys' fingers. So a lot of the times, and I mean a lot of like majority of the time, the porn guys would help pull the sponge out. So that's probably like really gross. To us, like it wasn't as gross. It was just like the guys being like nice and helping us out. Most of the time I was able to get the sponge out myself, like when I put one inside me. But there was one time that I couldn't get my sponge out and it was stuck, and I had to have the male porn star like assist me in getting it out. And basically I was like sitting on the toilet and the guy would like go in there and like we could not get it out. It was like really jammed up in there. So I had to like spread my legs out. Like I was like completely spread out like on the toilet, and he had like his whole like hand up inside me like trying to get it out. It hurt. It's like very painful and it hurts really bad when somebody else has to try to get it out and it's stuck. But majority of the time, like if you're not doing porn, you're not having like a huge porn cock like jamming that shit up inside of you, so it's not like something to be too concerned about. But yeah, so basically like when he did pull it out, and he was getting it out, there was like blood dripping down like his arm, like from like grabbing it and it kind of like squeezing the sponge. So like all the blood that was like soaked up in the sponge with him like squeezing it out of me was like just like blood dripping all down his arm, and I felt so bad, and like blood was dripping on the floor. And it wasn't that like I had a super heavy flow, it was just like that thing had been up there for a few hours, and so you know it caught a lot of blood. Think of like taking a tampon out that's like, you know, full and then like squeezing it and like blood going everywhere. Kind of gross. But yeah, so that was another gross thing that happened. Thankfully that only happened to me once. I'm sure that that happens a lot more than probably I've seen, but I've just seen that myself because it happened to me personally. So yeah, pretty gross. But like honestly, like the guys don't really care that much. I think it's like more gross to like girls than it is to guys for some reason. I don't know. Okay, another really gross thing. I don't know if you guys have heard of squirting, but like sometimes females will ejaculate kind of like guys do, except for it almost looks like a clear pee that like comes out. So there's such thing as like squirting in porn. Well, I was not a squirter, but I was doing a scene with a squirter, so they kind of just squirt, like they can't really control it, and it's also really good for porns because like I don't know, it's like a cool thing to be filming, I guess. So this chick that was on set was squirting and was getting ready to like squirt. She said, I'm gonna squirt, and I'm like, okay, fuck, what do I do? Because this was my first time like in a scene with someone that was squirting. So I'm like, I'm just gonna pretend like she's the guy and she's gonna blow a load and I'm gonna go down there and catch it. That's what my brain told me to do. Like I said, I was a really good porn star. I don't know, I just like went down for it. I'm like, yep, open wide, and I'm just waiting for it because I thought it was a good idea for it to go in my mouth. So I get down there and she starts squirting, and here I am with my mouth open and my fucking eyes open because you know I'm not a pussy and I'm not gonna be closing my eyes. It does not look good on camera. So all of a sudden, like it's coming out, and I get some in my eye again. I don't know if you've ever had squirt in your eye before, but in case you haven't, that shit fucking burns. And the thing about this is that it was different than most squirting scenes because this chick had taken a lot of vitamins, and if you take a lot of vitamins and you pee, it comes out like sometimes like lime green, like super yellow. Well, it's not supposed to be pee that's coming out. I don't know like the medical terms or technical terms for it, but it shouldn't look like pee. You know what I mean? But when I looked down on the floor and I saw all of it, it was like bright lime green, yellow pee. It looked like this chick just fucking peed all over me, basically. And it was all over my face and my mouth and in my eyes, and that shit fucking really burned. So yeah, that was a really gross, kind of shitty thing that happened to me. From every scene then on out, when the chick was like, I'm gonna squirt, my little ass was like, like backing up as far as I could. It's kind of funny, kind of gross, thought I'd share it. Okay, this isn't like an actual gross, like, well, I mean, some of those are probably gross to most people. I don't know, for me, I think it's just because like I was in that industry, kind of used to it. It wasn't as gross, but I think for like regular people, it might be gross. This one's gross for everybody, even porn stars. Basically, when anybody had a bacterial infection, any type of thing, like you go see the doctor. Well, porn stars had a porn doctor, because you don't want to be going into some regular doctor being like, I did 4 like boy-girl-girl scenes and I think I have a bacterial infection. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, it doesn't go over too well, and it's kind of embarrassing for people that do porn. It's uncomfortable for us, so we have like a designated porn doctor. Now, wait a second, let me take that back. He wasn't a designated porn doctor, he was just the doctor that all the porn stars went to. It was an urgent care that he worked at. That way we can go in like whenever we want to. We didn't have to really make an appointment. We had a problem, we'd go in. Well, I had a lot of friends in porn, and things come up sometimes down there that we don't get tested for, like vaginal warts. I was on set and I was going down on a girl, and I noticed that she had some warts down there, and those are contagious. So I was like, oh fuck no. But like the good porn star I am, I went down there thinking, oh my god, I'm gonna get fucking warts on my mouth, on my lips, on my face. I'm just so gross, you guys. Just know that I'm fucking gross, because it should just be a known thing that like I've done a lot of gross shit in my life. So anyways, now I wasn't gonna say anything to her on scene. In fact, I like covered them like with my hands, so that the camera wouldn't see it, because like that's just embarrassing. I don't even know if she knew that she had them. I mean, I don't know how many like porn chicks like, you know, check their shit with a mirror every day. So I didn't want to be like, this chick has warts, I'm not working with her, like whatever, because it's not like, I didn't really think that I was going to like catch them, even though they're contagious. Genital warts are contagious, just so you know, FYI, PSA. Maybe you're learning something new from this gross ass video. So anyways, after the scene, she was really nice, like super sweet girl. It was the first time I worked with her. I was talking to her after our scene was over and being like, you know, I noticed like you had some like genital warts, you know, you can go to Dr. So-and-so and he'll just burn them off for you. I had a friend that like, you know, would tell me if you need da-da-da burned off or whatever. I'm like, oh my god. Like, you know, when you're first in porn, you learn all this shit and you're like, oh god, the things I have to look forward to. So exciting. And I just want to say, I'm talking about like all the gross, horrible things like in porn. Know that like it was not always like this. I don't want to make everybody seem like porn was so bad, because it really wasn't. Like I had a really good life and fun life doing that. I made a lot of money in it. It was fun, like when I was younger. So I don't want people to think like I'm bashing porn. Definitely not. That's like what got me to where I am now, and I'm very like happy about it and not ashamed of it like whatsoever. Obviously you guys all know that. Anyways, get back to the point of the story. I was made aware by someone that told me, if you ever have any of these problems, this is a doctor you go to. So I was just helping this girl, letting her know that she could go. So I ended up going with her because she had never been to the doctor before. She was new in porn. And so I went with her just to be like, you know, friendly, nice, whatever. And she was cool, so I wanted to hang out with her. And I went in there and basically watched her get her genital warts burned off by the doctor. And it's really actually like a simple thing. He just goes in there, he injects it to like with like numbing stuff, and then he takes something to burn it. I think just like if you get a wart on your finger, those are also contagious. People get warts on their feet, their toes, their hands, their fingers, and sometimes people get warts in their genital area. It just happens. So we went in and I watched them burn her warts off. Pretty gross, but I went down on a girl with genital warts and then took her to the doctor to get them removed afterwards. Thankfully, I didn't get them on my hands, at least as far as I know. Shit, now I want to check. No warts, I'm good. Okay, another gross thing that happens in porn. Well, sometimes, and this is the thing, I don't know, for me, I was like douching, fucking like checking my shit, making sure like everything's good to go, you know? But some girls just don't think to do that, I guess, or they don't care. I don't know. But I went down on this girl one time and she had like rolled up toilet paper, like not just in her vagina like area, but also her butt. So I don't think that she like baby wiped or clean or anything like that. And yeah, that was pretty gross to me because I was eating toilet paper that day because, you know, my ass was up in there and not saying anything. I just fucking went in. I went in for the win, guys. I'm gross and it's just something that you kind of get used to. And yeah, it's disgusting, but I didn't want to embarrass her. I didn't want to be difficult. So I just fucking did the damn thing. Now I will say I didn't get the toilet paper from the butt area because that was just off limits to me. Some people have limits. I have limits. I know you're surprised, but I didn't do the butt part. That was just too much for me. If there's toilet paper and the butt's not clean, I'm not going near it. The vag area, it's okay. Okay, so another thing is that a lot of times, like in between takes, guys will like be jerking off to keep their dicks hard. And a lot of times they use lube. Some people just like to use good old-fashioned spit, which is fine, except for your mouth like harbors a lot of bacteria. And so when you keep like spitting and then going like this, for one, germs galore, right? I'm like, oh fuck. I just think like bacterial infection waiting to happen. But the grossest part about it is that when guys would use spit to like jerk off to keep their dick hard between takes, and then I had to go like put it in my mouth afterwards, and it's dry, and it's like this dry spit smell, and it smells really nasty. It's just really gross, and then I have to like and that I really didn't like. I don't know, there's like certain things that you would think would be like way grosser to me, like the toilet paper and the vag and me eating that all up, but the spit smell on the dick, like after it's dry, it's just it really didn't smell good, and it was really hard for me to deal with that, and that was a pretty gross thing. That's pretty gross. Okay, I saved the best one for last, you guys. So I am in a scene and I am fingering this girl, right? I'm fingering, and I'm feeling something up there and I don't know what the fuck it is. I'm assuming that it's a sponge, but it doesn't feel like a sponge. It just feels weird. And so I'm fingering her, and when I finger girls, I do like this little hook thing. Like once it's in there, I kind of like make my fingers like a C shape because that kind of hits their G-spot and it feels really good. So as I'm doing this, and then I pull my fingers out, and as I'm pulling my fingers out, and this is all being filmed by the way, something slides out like with my fingers, and it happened to be an old condom. And I was like, bitch, what the fuck? You dirty ass skanky little hoe. You had a condom fucking stuck up inside you. I don't know how long this has been in there. At this point, the camera stopped rolling. They were like, okay, cut. They didn't want that on camera. This was actually like a more, how do I say it? There's different types of porn. There's like really raunchy porn, and then there's more like pretty porn. This was like one of the pretty porns where it's like, you know, more like sexy, not so like, fuck yeah, bitch, do you like that shit? It's more like, oh yeah, you like that? Does that feel good? Like, it was more like pretty porn. So when I pull a fucking old condom out of this chick's vag, the pretty porn people were like, that cannot be in here. So they cut, and I'm looking at her, and I'm like, how long? And I'm joking, because I know who this chick is. So we're like, you know, we're friends, which was like another thing that was really weird. Like once you start making friends with people in porn, like especially the girls, it's really hard to do scenes with them without like laughing or like, you know, making jokes and stuff. It's easier to do it with like somebody brand new. I'll get into all that one day. So I'm pulling it out, and I'm like, and I'm talking shit to her because it's funny, and I'm like making fun of her, and I'm like, you skanky little ass hoe, like, how long has this been in there? She's like, I don't know. I'm like, well, let's find out. So I go to smell it. I almost fucking passed out, you guys. That shit smelled so fucking rank. And this is the thing. When I was fingering her, it didn't smell. It didn't smell at all. When I pulled that fucking thing out and put it near my nose, I literally almost passed out because it smelled so bad. That shit must have been in there for fucking weeks. I know people think like they get this idea in their head that porn stars are just like gross. They have like a thought in their head and they just automatically judge like people that do porn. The people that have done porn, majority of them have been some of the coolest, most down to earth, like chill ass people, like non-judgmental, cool, just like real people. And so she didn't even care. She was just like, yeah, I'm fucking gross ass bitch. Like, you know, like she was just, she knew, she knew it was nasty, but she didn't give a fuck. Like 0 fucks were given. And that's why she was like, I really liked her because she was really cool. She was really cool because she got condoms stuck up inside her. I know the comments are going to say that. That's not what I'm saying. But she was cool. Like she wasn't embarrassed about it. Like, you know, it was whatever. Anyways, it was really fucking gross to me, especially how bad it smelled. But I just thought I'd share those fun little stories with you on gross things that happen to be in porn. Also, if you guys are liking these stories, my next book that I'm writing is all about my time in porn, and it's going to be like in way more detail and a lot more like juicy good stuff that I probably won't be filming on camera because it's like too inappropriate, it might get flagged, you know what I mean? I hope that you guys like this part too. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Thank you again so much for watching this. I'm sending you all my love and all my positive energy, and I hope to see you in my next video.